The sheer size and depth of the ocean is mind-boggling, with countless creatures and mysteries being hidden beneath miles of water. And in 1960, the curiosity of what lies beneath the waves would lead two men to venture down into the deepest point in the entire world, the Challenger Deep, where they would come face to face with a creature the scientists would later deem impossible. Welcome to Cryptid Corner, the series All Things Cryptids, and today we're going to look into Trieste fish. Today's topic takes us to the lowest known point in the entire world, the Challenger Deep, which is the deepest point of the Marianas Trench. Down all the way at the bottom of the world at a depth below 36,000 feet deep, only the most resilient of life is able to venture and survive in these depths, with even fish being excluded. On January 23rd, 1960, man would make his first appearance. This journey was carried out by Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh, who piloted the Trieste bathysphere into the deep. And after a long descent, the Trieste would touch down on the sea floor, somewhere between 35 and 36,000 feet deep. But as the Trieste settled itself after a bumpy landing, Piccard would spot something on the seafloor, and to him, it seemed like a fish. This wasn't some giant of the deep, with Piccard describing it as being 1.5 feet long and resembling a flatfish, specifically a sole, with its flat ovular body and 2 eyes on the top of its head. Fish would slowly move out of view, never to be seen again, mainly just being an odd footnote in this remarkable achievement of reaching the lowest point in the world. Despite this, marine biologists are quick to dismiss this sighting, as flatfish, or fish in general, are largely thought to be unable to survive in these insane depths, contradicting all that we know about deep-sea fish. But is this dismissal valid? The Trieste fish at first seems pretty plausible. I mean, it's the ocean. How could a fish not be adapted to live in this region? The sheer pressure of the Challenger Deep, though, is immense, being over 1,000 times the atmospheric pressure that we experience here on land, which is comparable to 50 jumbo jets just being dropped on your head all at once. And in the Challenger Deep, sunlight is non-existent, causing temperatures to range between 34 and 39 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just above freezing. Challenger Deep is a place so extreme, only the most resilient of creatures can survive, mainly consisting of amphipods, worms, xenophyophores, sea cucumbers, and bacteria. And among these creatures, there isn't a single fish, as even the most well-adapted deep-sea fish are not capable of surviving Challenger Deep. Deepest living fish, the Abyssobrutula galafiae, is a species of tusk eel that has been found as deep as 27,460 feet deep in the Puerto Rico Trench. And the snailfish is a close runner-up, with the Marianas snailfish, who can be found just above the Challenger Deep, at depths of around 26,000 feet deep. And in 2023, a juvenile snailfish of an unidentified species was found in the Izu Ogosawara Trench at a depth of 27,350 feet. And although these fish are well adapted to the deep ocean, specking millions of years worth of evolution points into surviving at the darkest corners of the Earth, their deepest record depths are still 10 to 9,000 feet higher than the Challenger Deep. The reason that these fish are even able to survive at these depths is due to the presence of a chemical known as trimethylamine nitrogen oxide, which allows their proteins to survive the severe pressure of the deep. But somewhere around 27,500 to 27,900 feet deep, these chemicals wouldn't be able to function, killing the fish and locking them out of the Challenger's deep at a biological level. And if snailfish can't survive these depths, a flatfish most certainly wouldn't survive. As contrary to what you might think, flatfish like flounders, soles, and halibut tend to thrive in shallow coastal waters, being found on the seafloors of the continental shelf and slope, from 1 to 1,500 feet deep. Although some flatfish can be found as far down as 4,900 feet deep. And although these depths seem pretty deep to us landlubbers, that's nothing compared to the Challenger Deep. The Trieste also wasn't the only submersible to reach the Challenger Deep, with several manned and unmanned dives occurring over the years, and not a single time was a fish reported or recorded at the deepest depths of the deep. And for these reasons, marine biologists are quick to dismiss the idea that Picard had seen a fish, let alone a flatfish. Picard would even state later that he could have been mistaken, citing the poor visibility and the fact that neither him or Jacques were biologists. According to marine biologists, though, and many others who have looked into this odd case, it is likely that Picard had not seen a fish, but a sea cucumber, which are really common down in the Hadal depth. The size and shape of the creature, combined with the poor visibility and the Trieste's landing given a little push, definitely could make a sea cucumber appear more fish-like. Additionally, many sea cucumbers from the deep haven't been thoroughly studied in controlled environments because they will literally disintegrate if you try to bring them to the surface, leaving many deep-sea species of sea cucumber going undescribed and undiscovered. The missed sighting also could have just been simply from the debris from the landing, as it was described as bumpy and the fish was spotted as the Trieste began to settle. Additionally, there was a kind of like a goop that was made up from all the bacteria and algae on the bottom of the floor. So combined with the silt and that, maybe some globs looked a little fish-like as they drifted away from the point of impact. And so it appears the Trieste fish physically could not have been a fish, likely just being a missighting caused by poor visibility. This conclusion makes sense, as not even the most well-adapted deep-sea fish can survive in this environment. But it is still odd to think that in the millions of years that the Challenger Deep has existed, man beat fish to the bottom, and they had a 26,000-foot head start. But at the same time, the deep ocean is one of the most mysterious places, and our knowledge of this land can be changed with a single discovery. After all, the ancestors of snailfish had only left their shallow waters 20 million years ago. So surely, in the 500 million plus years that fish have slammed this world's waters, some fish has had to have adapted to these depths, 30,000 feet beneath the waves at the bottom of the world. And that's going to do it for the Trieste fish. This was a pretty interesting case that I came across. A very fast one, much shorter video than usual, but I did think it was pretty interesting, though. Y'all seem to like the deep sea fish cryptids. I like them a lot, too, because it's just really interesting to think that, like, you're going down to the bottom of the world, and you're looking out, and you're seeing these creatures that have never been seen by anyone before. And especially at the prospect of people being like, dude, there's no way that there's fish at this, like, deep. This is probably one of the deepest cryptids ever found. I mean, what am I saying? Probably. It literally is. It literally was the deepest cryptid ever reported. So, what do y'all think about this one? I know this one's not a deep sea giant like the abyssal dragonfish or the deep star 4000 fish, but it's still very interesting to me. At some point, I do want to make like a Cryptids of the Deep compilation that combines this video, the Deep Star 4000 video, and the Untouchable fish. But it probably would be quite a whiplash between like the Audio Technica video. That's what I used to record the Bathysphere fish video. That might combined with the audio mixing I had with the Deep Star one, and then this one with the better audio mixing. That's got to be funny to listen to. But what do you think about the Trieste fish? Do you think it actually was a fish? Do you think scientists are just full of it and haven't found the true fish of the deep yet? Do you think that there's no way that this could have been it? Let me know down in the comments below what you have to think, what you have to say about it, rather, because I find it pretty interesting. It's a little piece of debate. Also, one of the papers that I used for the research of this was back in 2012, because people have been speaking about this fish for a while, and it's just so odd to see, like, oh, there's only been 3 people that have been this deep, and one of them is James Cameron, because many of the dives came around between 2019 and 2022. So at that point, this dive and James Cameron's dives were the only ones to this area, and it's so weird to think about. But again, if you like this content, make sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell if you like this content, and make sure to hype the video if you're on mobile. That's finally out. I remember hearing about that a while ago, but hyping videos is finally out. Let's get us on the leaderboard. And if you really, really like this content, you can become a member for just $3 a month. You gain early access to videos, priority recommendations, and a spot here on the members shoutout. And you are also a real one. But if you made it this far in the video, you're a real one regardless. One last little announcement for the next video though, and that's also why this video was so short, is so that I could get a jump start on another longer video. So look out for that. Should be coming out next Monday. And with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.